I'm gonna do one side, this side, definitely not over there. These bolts are way too long. This has to be the wrong one, but we'll find the right one when we get into it. Okay, so that's about how it goes. When you get into this business, I think that's actually the plug for the ignition. Might have been unplugged because it was too big to fit. Another mystery plug. Some more mystery plugs. This is turn signals in the headlight and the gauges. So I think that one goes in. Be some more manipulating of these beyond once I get them in the hole. I'm just feeding it back in here, knowing that they come up to here to plug into the gauges. So, putting this cable out of the way for now. Now that they're all stuffed in, now work them further in there. Ta-da! This is incredibly difficult the first 10 times I did this. Just getting the stuff in and out of the headlight bucket.
Looks like you've got it down to a science now.
Again, bolt is entirely too long. How level it is right now that I'm trying to do this adjustment. Something like that.
Yeah, you get it close enough for the moment.
Yeah, I'll have to do some plugging stuff in before I put the headlight shell in place. So I guess next up is the gauge bracket. Put the gauges on.
Yeah, gauges and then maybe controls.
Yeah, gauges. Why are there so many gauges? There's too many gauges. No, there's just the right amount of gauges. There's 2 gauges. But this guy done sent me one in a cup and I only needed 1 cup. Maybe that one's spare parts.
Dave, is that the same shirt you're wearing yesterday?
No, it's not.
Let me see the front. You're right. There's just profanity on the back this time.
Is there?
That one, do a little side by side of the new gauges versus the old for the bracket. Yeah, just a little bit of a difference.
That'll buffer it out.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing my bike did something like this to bend that down.
Yeah, I must have done a roll or two.
Or the deer got it. The deer bent it and then it hit the ground. The windscreen.
Nice. You're rocking no windscreen now, right?
No, I got a new one.
Oh, you got a new one. Okay. Nice. I forgot you do have a couple of spare bolts. They're just in your collarbone.
About 6 of them. So one thing I ought to do before I get the gauges in place is to put the wires
up through the little wire.
Yeah.
Guide.
I think that's what that's for.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe.
Could be.
Now I'm worried about having the gauges swapped side by side. Which one plugs in where? The tack is that one. Because it's got 1 tab on the corner of the plug. And this one has 2 tabs on the corner of the plug. This is the tack, and I know it goes on that side. So I didn't do this before, so is this gonna blow up on my face?
No. I was the one who did it
There's
yesterday.
no springs. Surprise spring action
No
there.
springs. Just the throttle cables.
Okay, so what was I doing?
Taking the throttle off. Undo the throttle cables. and then you're gonna feed it through that little thing.
Uh-oh, Wild Jeff appears.
And he's back.
What's up?
Back again. You come bearing gifts, or you just coming to watch the show?
I got Tinder for a fire if you want one.
All right. I'm sure that's the only Tinder he's got.
Yeah. I am single, so.
All right, ladies, he is single. Woo! Drop a comment below if you're interested.
Probably done.
You know, the analytics on my video, 100% of the watchers are male. So far on the last analytics. Let's get some of the female crowd into motorcycles. Come on.
I'm gonna ride like this.
Woo! It's a bike, not a cow, Dave.
I already flipped them. I don't even know which one went. I'm kind of tempted to yank this rubber off. .com.
Here we go again. What are you doing with the rubber? Keeping it? Cutting it? Looks like the man's about to cut it.
How hard
Now
is this
before
to
you cut
replace?
it, you could just electrical tape over the split until you get a new one.
If I do that, I'll never replace it.
That's true.
Brilliant! Hold
You're
on.
on the spot, Dave.
Which way is go speed? Is it you pull back towards you, right?
That's right.
So that one should be on the top, I think. Maybe. How does this work? Or did it come from? It came from the top, right?
You want to take over the camera?
No!
He refuses to give up, ladies and gentlemen. Use the housing. It's the cheat codes.
Yeah.
It holds the key.
See, you wanted to find some video of a guy making this look easy? Nope.
Someone came here just to see how to reattach the throttle cable.
Got it?
Don't help me! Alright, so it goes down low. Shit. Alright. I'd like to think that somehow that this is going to go better than the first time. I guess that's the secret. It goes down the sides and upside down and not like what I was doing before. Okay. Okay. And go down until it's like 2 threads showing. Yeah, this originally had a zip tie on it.
Yeah, you could just tape over this area and just
Yeah.
wrap it up and
Put the zip tie back.
yeah.
It won't reach, or I would do that right now.
Yeah.
But it's in place. It only took 1,000 times longer than it took me now. I've got this package in the mail today, finally. The gasket for our fuel pump. Now, I didn't show taking this apart, so let me try to explain how this all happens. On the bottom of the tank there's a plate, and you can see where the screw holes were, that mounts the fuel pump. And this gasket goes on the bottom of that plate. This is the old one, and it's split at pretty much every metal insert, the metal inserts to keep you from crushing the rubber, pinching it too hard and causing a leak from over torquing. The fuel pump looks something like this. This is the inside, of course. So we have a cable that's got the fuel level sensor and the power to the pump and the fuel that goes to the injectors under pressure. On the inside, there's a different story. The fuel is picked up through this rubber foot with a bunch of steel wool looking stuff crammed into it. Goes through the pump, through a filter which I also replaced. So it goes through the filter and it goes through a regulator. So fuel under pressure arrives here as fast as the pump can pump at whatever pressure the pump is pumping at, and it actually doesn't build up pressure until it's restricted. So the regulator, which is this guy, restricts it and returns the excess fuel back into our rubber boot through this hose down here. So you get a nice continuing circulation, which is nice if you have it. If you're like running on fumes, any extra fuel is getting spit right back into the rubber boot, which is enclosed on that end. Downside is this: you're going down the road like this, you got the fuel level's got to be up to here for it to actually go in here. But maybe that saves you from picking up any trash, because there's definitely a lot of crud and trash in the bottom of this old tank. Might have just been rust that got knocked loose, you know, from the accident. I got the new gasket, which I got to get open. I got the new tank. I got all the screws in a disorganized heap because I may have jostled them since last week. Tank. Some guy either bought, I think he bought this tank as a replacement, or he got a red one and painted the silver, or had somebody do the silver, because it's got masking tape. It's black underneath. Yeah, so this tank's definitely been repainted, but it was a steal at $150 for a new tank, which is unbelievable for an undamaged tank. You can see that he painted the red and then the silver over the top of it, so you can tell it was a base model black tank. The ring there for the gasket is black, but it doesn't stink like gas. This one's been empty for a couple weeks and it still stinks like gas. This one has visible crud that shakes around, so hope there was nothing left in there that was important. Nice. I ordered this from Triple Triumph in Miami on account of their website didn't totally suck. I usually go to Triumph eStore, which is Hermes Triumph in New York. I know two different directions, Miami and New York, but dealerships that actually carry stock, it's hard to come by, and if they got something in stock that's 2 days to get it instead of 2 weeks, and now it still took me a week, so you know, they sent me a lanyard. So thanks to Triple Triumph from Miami for the lanyard. I know they weren't expecting a plug on video on account of I paid money for this, and they don't know me and never will. Now this thing feels totally different. This is like rubbery. The old one is like shiny and feels all slick like plastic, and it's real smooshed, thin and hard. So I think the gasoline has done that one in, especially from the cracks. I don't know what the policy on this thing is. You put it on dry and hope for the best. Doing it live. Alright, so just for starters, this needs to be roughly about like that on the plate. I didn't want to bash the pump and piping into it because this is a beast of an operation. I don't know if you will be able to see too much of it, but that's okay because I can't either. I don't expect to have a lot of paint left when I'm done here. You gotta kind of shimmy it around because it's an unfriendly shape. And there's a bulge right here. That's where the boot, the foot, is going to sit eventually, but it has to kind of go in here and rotate up, down, left, engage rotor. You know the routine. Am I right, ladies? So I can feel, yeah, I can feel the boot. It takes a bit of force. I can feel the boot going across the side of the tank until it slipped a little bit further in. And now it wants to go in, but I gotta line up the screw holes. The problem is it's got two sets of holes to line up. I gotta line up the plate and I gotta line up the gasket. Both of them have to be in line with the tank or the screws won't go all the way. A couple of them still won't find the threads. Okay, yep. Okay, we're about two-thirds of them have seated now that I'm turning them by hand. So I'm on the third circle around and they're still like not hard. They're like squishy to turn. Okay, so while she blows, we got our fuel pump installed, like a Toyga. Lovely red color. I got some chrome turn signals. Chrome turn signals that we're going to put on, and a new, we're switching from, me, Dave paid for it, it's Dave bike. Me is switching from the Triumph stock headers 2-into-2 with the Dominator Touring slip-on mufflers, which were totally rad, but they've been crashed on each side a couple times, and I've started out chrome, repainted them black, sanded it down when I scraped up the black, repainted them black. And this time, I'm not sanding them down again. I'm going for the Zard Cross 2-in-1 single side pipe. It's loud, it's gnarly, and it's much easier to deal with because there's way less places to connect it, fewer parts. I do all my own maintenance, and I just felt like it was time for a change. Anyway, this tank came off a scrambler. That's kind of gave me the idea of, okay, well, if the bike's going to look different, I'm going to do everything different. I'm going to go with a different theme, so all the black everything is going away. It's going to be chrome, 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 red, 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 dirt, dirt, dirt instead of street, street, street. All right, so I'm going to cut it and I'll get over there in a minute.